Inspecting panel boards, Part 2, Moisture. Water can be a very good conductor of electricity. Any panel that indicates it may be damp or wet should not be touched or opened by an inspector. Before even thinking about touching, inspecting, or removing a dead front cover, the inspector should look carefully for signs of water, moisture staining, or rust on the panel or on its surrounding wall. As we saw with the servants' entrance, any failures of the mast or cable entryways may result in water getting into the panel. If there is any evidence of water, the inspector should recommend that the panel be fully evaluated and repaired by an electrical contractor. A home inspector going further into the panel inspection would not only be potentially dangerous, but also unnecessary. Contamination. Electrical components must be protected after they are installed. The 2021 IRC Section E3404.7 refers to the integrity of electrical equipment. The internal parts of electrical equipment, including bus bars, wiring terminals, insulators, and other surfaces, should not be damaged or contaminated by foreign materials such as paint, plaster, cleaners or abrasives, and corrosive residues. For example, a newly installed panel board should not be covered when the electrical contractor is installing the rough wiring above the electrical panel board. Otherwise, the unprotected panel board and its components could be covered with dust and debris. Another example could be when the panel board is installed and the drywall contractor uses a router to cut openings for electrical boxes or fixtures. The drywall dust could enter the uncovered panel board. Another example of an unprotected panel board could be when the bus bars might be coated with paint while the walls were being spray painted. There should not be any paint or wall texture sprayed on the wiring, connections, and buses inside an electrical panel. The general interpretation is that any contaminant that cannot be removed with a dry cloth is not allowed. Coordination between construction trades is needed to prevent these types of problems and is required by the code. Nests from pests such as bees or mice should be reported as in need of correction. Foreign debris of all types should be removed from equipment. There should not be any damage to components of the electrical panel board inside and out that might adversely affect its safe operation or the mechanical strength of the equipment. Parts of the panel board and its components that are broken, bent, cut, or deteriorated by corrosion, chemical action, or overheating are all defects that should be reported as in need of correction. Rusting enclosures. Do not touch a panel board or any electrical component or system that shows indications of rust and corrosion, burn marks, arching, scorching, or similar anomalies of any kind. Any panel or cabinet showing rust has been exposed to a high level of moisture. Maybe a leak has been repaired, and maybe not. The home inspector should be extremely cautious of inspecting the rusted panels, cabinets, and dead fronts. The inspector must maintain safety when performing inspections. Stay safe. Keep yourself safe. Keep your clients safe. According to InterNACHI's Home Inspection Standards of Practice, the home inspector is not required to do anything that may, in the inspector's opinion, be unsafe or dangerous to the inspector or others. Damaged or improperly installed breakers. There are several questions an inspector may keep in mind when inspecting circuit breakers that show indication of damage. 1. Are they rated for the model of the panel they are installed in? 2. Do they have their handle ties in place on double pole breakers so that both sides of the circuit can be shut off at the same moment? And 3, are there any signs of arcing, burning, or smoke damage that would indicate that the breaker is not tripping as intended? Signs of arcing. As part of the initial visual inspection of a panel, the inspector should look closely for any signs of arcing or burn marks on the panel. These may be the result of previously repaired problems, but don't rely on that being the case. Also, take a second to listen to the panel because in many cases, you may hear arcing. Arcing or smoke damage on the outside of the panel is obviously indicative of a previously significant and dangerous condition. It is recommended that the inspector, at a minimum, ask the homeowner for details of the damage and its repair prior to opening the panel. Remember, there are many issues that can lead to this kind of telltale marking, and many of those can lead to the panel board being live or short circuits being caused by removal of the dead front.